This episode of Outside the Net is brought to you by Grit, custom gear for the player who never backs down. Go to GRTPaintball.com and get 10% off your first order. If you want to be the best, you got to have Grit.
And unmute. Hello, everybody. How we doing tonight? This is Outside the Net, and I'm your host, Brady Nickel. Welcome to the show. I got to apologize. My voice is almost gone. It's coming back. But started this week off with a nasty cold. So we're just going to power through tonight's episode. And man, do we have a crazy layout going into the Midwest Open NXL. We're going to dive in here in just a second. But before we do that, let me know you're watching with me. Let me know how the stream is looking. It doesn't look like I have the greatest connection right now, but we're just going to power through and do the best we can here. Again, I apologize for my voice if it's distracting, but we're just going to get through it. We're going to show you guys all the possibilities of this layout. And we'll pull up a overhead real quick and just get to looking at this layout. 1 second. I'm going to transfer over to this one here. Okay. So, man, asymmetrical layout Trozen has given us this time. I'm not a huge fan of these, but, you know, there's something to say for skill. I think playing on a layout like this. But let me hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments. We'll get some of these pulled up here. And then we're going to dive into the studio and start going through all of these bunker by bunker. Of course, the goal tonight is to give you the best possibility, the hypotheticals of what you can and cannot do on this field. We're going to look at lanes, look at each bunker, and identify the key spots to get to on the breakout. This is our first live episode, so we're gonna just work with the kinks. I don't think our special guest is gonna make it tonight. Unfortunately, he had some work engagements come up, but we'll definitely get him on the show probably next week. Let's see. Okay, well, we're gonna jump on in anyways. Now, as I'm going through this, I want you guys to tell me which position you play on the field, and then I got something to say about that. So, which position do you play on the field? Drop it in the comments, and we are going to dive on in to the virtual studio and start getting a look from the ground. And this is something for a layout, I tell you. But, you know, that's why you got to be versatile. You got to be able to play every position on the field. Kids at Snakeside. Okay, well, that's why I say you can't lock yourself into one position. If you don't know how to play every spot on the field, then you're not doing something right. You got to learn how to play every position. What's up, Jay Will? How's it going, buddy? All right, so, but let's kind of dive into the snake. Let's see what we're working with. Nope, my puppies don't come in here. Hi, Willow. Got the mini wedge for the snake 1. And advancement. This is what's so weird about this layout is you could go inside or you could go outside the snake. And I don't know. We don't know yet what's the option. What's the best option? But now, if we look at this route going into the snake 1, what do we see here? What lanes do we have to be cautious of? And my first look is saying this lane right here is the big one to watch out for. So that home looks like it's going to have a good shot on the snake runner. And if we come over here to this side of our home box, I mean, it's definitely there, I think. If we're looking right through the mini Aztec and that tall tower, it's definitely there. Now, I want to know too, have you guys done some looking on this layout already? What hypotheses have you guys come up with on your own? And we'll definitely test them out here in the virtual studio and see if these shots are actually there. Yeah, okay, so that's the weird thing about it. Okay, so I've got to be looking over there. I hate these asymmetrical layouts. So if I'm looking for that same shot on the other side of the field, then I've got to be looking left side. And yeah, that shot is definitely there between the South Electronics can and the Hertz Tower. So I think that's your big one to watch out for going into the snake. But you make it through that, then you got the mini Aztec and the tall tower in front of you, and that's your big contestant. Going to be right there. And so you're looking up here on the big wall. That is these 2 bunkers here to look out for. All right, so let's move on into the snake 2. Let's see what we can get over here. Snake 2's looking decent. Got shots on this mini W crossfield. And maybe, I mean, if you could play this knuckle, you'd have the outside of their snake 1 as well. Excuse me. And this cold allergy season is killing me. But we're going to power through because the NXL waits for no one. And then push it on out into this little Sneakrito on the tape. Gives us a few more looks. We got the wedge over on their snake side and the center brick. We've got the Hertz Tower and some shots over this little mini brick into the South Electronics can. I don't know. I mean, getting out there is going to be tough for sure. I would suspect to see somebody posted up right here watching this move on the outside of the snake. And then we get into the snake 50. And then you got the Doritos to contend with, so. definitely have to watch that tape. And there's no snake support here. So you're really, if you move down the outside of that tape, you're on your own. What we can see from the center. Here at the South Electronics can, looks like yeah, that's the snake 1. So that's that little wedge on the inside, snake 1. And there's a lot of structure here in the middle. I think it's going to be easier than people think to get lost in this. Moving up the field. If you got this mini wall, mini W, you got the home on the inside. And you've got the snake mini W, so that where it turns there, you've got that to watch out for. And I guarantee somebody that knows how to play them W's is going to be working that thing. So keep an eye out for that guy if you're kind of lost over here in the middle. Let's see, how are we going to call this? So let's say snake 1, snake 2, snake 3, snake 4. I don't know. We're going to go to this big wedge here. Where are you guys practicing at this weekend? Let me know. I should give your field a shout out. All my guys will be out at Extreme Paintball Park over in Millstadt, Illinois. They're going to be locking it down over there. All right, shout out to the prime suspects. All right, this big wedge. I mean, you got the Hertz Tower right in front of you. You got the South Electronics can right here. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. D5 for sure. If you get to this wedge very early, you're going to trap somebody in that can right there. Because I don't know why D5, and maybe the meta is starting to change, but a lot of inexperienced teams love to hang out in the back line for way too long. And you'll see them back there for the majority of a point. And then only once they're forced out of their position is when they start to move. So if you could take some early ground, and this is if you're playing D5, D4 you can still get it done, but take some early ground and try to capitalize on the fact that some of these teams are not going to push out of these back bunkers very quickly. They will eventually, but if you capitalize on that very early in the breakout, I think you guys will get some kills, some eliminations in these back bunkers. Now let's move. Oh, let's look down this right side. Now this is probably going to be your best bet for snake support. If you got a guy moving down this tape here, so if you are positioning to put one of your guys down the outside and getting him to push up to that 50 wedge, I think I would definitely put somebody right here, and they can control this zone there to there. Let me know what you guys think about that. You gotta have somebody that can lock it down while your guy on the wire is making those moves out wide. And you guys don't have to rush this either. You can work together to get through here. But this guy on the wire, he's got this whole area that he's got to worry about. He's got the other snake. He's got the tower. He's got the brick. He's got the large brick right there. So if just one of you can get in a position to lock down this side of the field for him, he's gonna love you so much. So uh, definitely think about putting somebody in that wedge to lock down that corner. Now move on to this center brick, because I do think we're going to see a lot of play happening in the center. Yeah, I mean, the center can definitely get some kills on this back corner. I think you could definitely work this tube as well. So if you can get some good intel on where the bodies are, and that's a point that says this all the time. Tyler says this all the time. He said, paint the perfect picture for your team. What's happening on the other side of the field? And so if you could get yourself into a position like this to work this beam, and your boys are giving you good intel and telling you where they're at, and this is assuming that you know the field like the back of your hand, that you can close your eyes and envision it perfectly, then you could surprise some people and get some kills out here in the middle. I mean, some of you boys got hops. Jump over this snake beam, or just jump over this center brick. Probably get some kills on this back line. And then looking to the left, we've got this Necrito and that little W. Again, watch out for that guy, because people love to play the top of those things. They love to play the top of them. All right, now let's take a move back, and let's take a look at the home. What are we doing in the home for the first 10, 15 seconds? Well, I'm definitely going to put a gun on that snake. Just a second, boys. All right, we're back. So we are definitely putting a gun on that snake. And let's see where the route is. D side. I mean, this looks like a good opportunity to double up the home and either thread the needle through that gap there, try to hit this guy going out wide on D side, or maybe even just over the top of that large brick in the center. Let's see. Get out of that. It's hard to say. But this gap is definitely wide, moving out wide. Okay, look at the little mini brick. I don't see this as a with a lot of potential. Maybe just a transition bunker to maybe push up and then push out over to this tower, or even dive into the center brick. But nonetheless, we'll take a look at our shots. We've got the little W and the South Electronics can on the left, and really just that we got the Doritos, obviously, on the right, and we got a little bit of the inside of that little Dorito corner on the right. All right, now we'll take a step back here and go to the Mini Aztec or the Delta. See what's going on over here. Now this is a good look. I like this look in between these bricks, and this is the first time on the field that you're getting to see cross field this way. So you've got the money over there. I guess it's your mirrors. I'll call it the Delta. I hate these asymmetrical things. Have I said that? So you can shoot your cross there. You can definitely drop paint into the S1 over that snake tube. So if you're trying to stop the snake after the breakout, this is definitely an option. Just shoot them right over the top of that beam and roll them in there. And you don't really have a whole lot other than that. I mean, this is not a good position to be gun battling this Necrito. If they come out, I mean, it may happen. So be wary of that, but not really in a good spot to be doing that there. And if anybody gets wider than your mirror over here, you could hang out for a minute. I mean, not hardly any time, but you might take a shot at wrapping on the inside and taking some shots at that home bunker over the top of the can and the brick and surprising some guys in that home. Gosh, I can tell my voice is awful tonight, guys. I'm sorry about that, but we are getting through it. I kind of knew it was going to be like this. I was at work today, and I just wasn't talking at all, and just trying to save it for tonight. And but here we are. This is what we got. Makes you wonder how Matty Marshall never gets sick. Like, he just never gets a cold, apparently, on NXL days. I've never heard that guy with a cold. Okay, a little mini brick on the D side. Now you got shots right at home all day. If you're wrapping on the outside. Now you definitely have to be cautious of the brick, or that's the wedge, in their snake and their snake one on the inside over here. But if nobody's in these positions, and again, your boys, your team is doing their job and painting that picture, of what's going on over there. If you know those zones are open all day, wrap on the outside and kill that guy. Okay, playing the top is you got the option for sure. Don't hang out up here. Little look inside. You've got the Hertz Tower, which is so you're not gonna see anybody, I don't think, in that tower. You might, but usually, I mean, these are about head height, so the odds of you actually seeing somebody in that is slim. Now here's a potential bounce shot off of that pin into this large brick. Take a look at that. So, of course, that's what they're there for. So, if somebody gets up into your 50, excuse me, somebody's in your 50 right here, yeah, that pin will kill them all day. So, look at that option from here over to here, straight into here. Yeah, they don't put those pins out there just for looks. All right, the baby Dorito, my nemesis. All right, the baby's got shots on the home for sure. We've got a little bit on that mini W. Looks like we've got the snake 1 on the inside. And not much else, to be honest. We've got their Dorito, but you're in trouble if you're here and they're over in that D3. You are in big trouble. All right, moving into the D2. Yeah, D2 looks a lot better. You've got the cross on their D2. This is so open through here. Holy cow. Yeah, that's straight up just huge lane to get through. And things open up more on the home and their center brick. And their delta. Now we move into the D3. Not sure what that was. D3. We've got their D1 all day. Their mini brick in the corner. The home. The delta and that little brick. Yeah, it looks like if you go up the D side, you're going to be good. Yeah, you'll be solid going up this D side. And then we get to the large brick or the large wedge. And you got all of that, the D1, the brick, both the bricks, the delta. Yeah, they're screwed if you can get into this position. Now, the only things we haven't looked at yet are these these towers. So let's take a look at the towers, and then we will talk about some game plans going into the breakout. So you got the home heads up. You've got the mini brick over here in the corner. You got the towers, which you probably, I definitely wouldn't sleep on them, but they're going to be over the top of these bricks. And then for the Hertz tower, Hertz tower could stop the snake here and here. And good position to gun battle with anybody in this cam right there. All right. So, I mean, it's definitely an interesting field. I think it's going to be a fast-paced field. It's going to be a lot of chaos going on. You guys watching right now, let me know what you're thinking. Anything you want to look closer at, have questions about, stuff you want to see, and we'll dive into that real quick. Before we do that, though, drop your team name in the comments. Give your team a shout out. I do try to follow along with all of my teams throughout the course of the tournament. So, you guys, any of you guys that podium, will give a shout out on our socials. So, drop your team name in the comments, and we'll get in touch with you. A little bit of background ambiance. Yeah, get that back going. Yeah, tell me what your thoughts are so far, guys. I think the snake's not bad. I mean, for what it is, definitely interesting. I think a couple guys can work that side very easily. I'm not sure. Yeah, yeah, a couple guys can definitely work that side. You put somebody over in that wedge, or somebody out wide, and have them working down the outside, shooting cross. This guy's shooting heads up. Get somebody out wide to this little brick, have them pushing up the Doritos, shooting cross. Something creative. And you can do a couple different things here, right? We can support the snake side attack. We can support the Dorito attack. Or we can go straight up the gut. So if you send somebody up the little brick, maybe out to a tower, maybe on the inside up to this large brick, and stir up some trouble there in the center. It just does a few different things. One, it draws guns, right? So you coordinate that attack. Don't do something stupid that your team doesn't know you're going to do. I mean, if you've been playing together a while, then it is what it is. You know what each other's tendencies are. But let's say the whole plan is the center guy is going to make a crazy play right up the center, and he's just going to go through and surprise as many people as he can. While these two are the main attack, pushing down this outside, and these guys are the support. So they're not pushing as aggressive. They are holding it down, still getting kills, and making sure that the field doesn't get flipped. That's one option. The other option is you just reverse that. These two become the attack. Oh, hello. These two become the attack, and we're going to push this side of the field, flip that direction, and we say these guys are going to be on island for our support, so that the field doesn't get flipped this way. And no matter what you do, make sure you're coordinating a plan with your team. Don't get to the start box and ask the pitfall question, where are you going? If you guys are still doing that, go back to practice. Where are you going? I've heard it so many times. Thanks for years to where are you going? You should have known that before you ever came to the field. I know exactly where I'm going. So that's why we do these field walks, yeah? That's why we study and study till our eyes hurt. Go to sleep dreaming about it. Because on tournament day, there's no room for error. If you want to win, you have to do it. Nobody else is doing it. Everybody else is out partying and throwing them back. You guys are figuring out how you're going to win this damn tournament. What's up, Cat Crasher? So, hope this was helpful for you guys. I know, again, I've been so under the weather this week, but I hope that shows my dedication to this game, to you guys, because everybody knows that tournaments don't wait. Tournament weekend, layout weekend, that's your time to get your spins in and figure out the field. So again, I hope that shows how dedicated I am to bringing you guys this stuff. Spent all week, even though being sick, trying to get this ready for you. So I hope that shows, even though. Hey, Brittany, Leroy Jenkins. What Cat Crasher say? If you're not dreaming about the layout, you're doing it wrong. Exactly, dude. Like, I feel like I go into a tournament so prepared that I'm just calm. Like, I'm not stressed. I'm not worried, and that's how you should go into a tournament. Like, when you get to the field on tournament day, it's time to play. It's time to have fun. We've already done the hard work at practice. We know what we got to do. So let's do it. So let's do it. Brittany, what are you doing? Where's Jason at? Or is it Jason on your account? That's the real question. Because I don't believe Jason has his own YouTube. I think he would use yours. I think that's something Jason would do. Oh, it's Jason. Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. What's up, dude? Hey, do you like my tie? I gotta point it out because it's not really a tie. It's my headband that my GRT headband that you can get from grtpaintball.com. Go over there, you get 10% off your first order. I had to look official with the suit. I'm going for ESPN over here, so that's I gotta look the part. Right now, this is just practice, but this is what we got. Eventually, we'll take a quick look at the studio. So we've got room for fans. We've got room for a whole audience. As a matter of fact, I do have an audience. Excuse me. I am very fancy. Thank you. I'm going to pin that comment to the stream just so everybody remembers. We have room for fans, and we do have fans, but the problem is we've got to figure out a way to get them into the video without crashing the whole system, because if you didn't know, computers run on unicorn blood, and if you don't have enough of it, they will die. So that's just something I have to consider. Right now, it just looks like an empty studio. So here we are. Now is the time. If you have any more questions, get them in. If there's something you want to see an angle of, we'll take a look at it. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping this thing up here pretty soon. I did get a message from my guest that he'd be on at 8. I don't know if we'll still be on by then. We may have to bring him back on next week for a special show. And helicopters fly by men. Exactly. Jason knows he's somewhat of a helicopter pilot. I think you're a helicopter pilot or a mechanic, or I don't know. You do something with helicopters. Something with helicopters. Let's see. Yeah, get your comments in before we wrap this thing up. We're gonna try to stick it out. Oh, you're a nurse. Okay, gotcha. You're a nurse, Jason? I didn't know that. I had no idea. We'll take a look from the other end. I guess it's a good time to talk about sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, I've got some unique packages, and I think it would blow your mind how affordable it is to get your very own field bunkers. So these are temporary. I'm not paid by Hertz, so if you want to support the cause and get your own bunkers on the field, get a hold of me. You can reach out to me anywhere you find us on the internet, or go to grtpaintball.com and send us an email, and we'll get you hooked up with your own virtual field bunkers and banners. Oh, Jason, there's an opportunity there for you, buddy. Some Crowley's Ridge Armory bunkers, I think, would look pretty sick. What do you think? What do you think? Well, nobody has anything else, guys, I do want to say thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I've noticed that most of you guys watching aren't subscribed to the channel, so do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button, like this video. I can assure you next time there'll be a lot more energy that goes into this thing, because we're running on fumes here, people. But we're gearing up to be posting videos every single week. Now, our lineup is not just field reviews. That's not the goal. Yes, we want to do the field reviews because we want you to be as prepared as you possibly can be going into layout weekend. But our main goal is to put a show together that is like no other paintball show like it, to where we're watching the tournaments play out from the virtual studio, and we get to see what happens on this field. We get to break it down, talk about why plays work, why they don't, why the pros choose to do things that we would never think of. That's the whole point of this. So definitely hit that subscribe button. Go over to TikTok and follow us over there, because that's where we are actually blowing up a little bit right now. Our last video got about, I think it's at 52,000 views. Oh, we're doing pretty good over on TikTok. Now, got about 5 more minutes. I think 10 after. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay on that long. But we'll try it. Jason, what else is coming up? Don't you got a big game coming up here pretty soon over at Crowley's Ridge? I thought I had seen that. Now, here is a shot that I did not see earlier. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop. Technology. Now, if nobody is out wide on you, meaning that they're not past that zone there, you can wrap on the outside of this can and put some shots in between here. Keep that open. Now, that's another question. I want to know how many of you guys are using zone calls, or if you know what a zone is. That's another question. Do you know what the zones are? We'll keep it basic, I think, for this, and we'll do 3 zones. The more advanced you get, the more zones you have. Gets more specific. But that cough sneaks up on me every time. Whoa! Oh, I messed it up. Okay. So we'll do red. This will be white, but we'll do yellow. This is for white, so white, red, and then blue. Okay. So here's like the basic. First time caller is your show every Wednesday. Hey, Red Eye, thanks for calling into the show, buddy. No, our show is usually on Fridays, but this is a special occasion because the Midwest Open layout dropped today, and it's our duty here at Grit Industries and Outside the Net Studios to provide the paintball community with the best breakdowns in the game. So while our shows are usually on Fridays, this show is on Wednesday when the layout drops. So you can expect live shows every time an NXL layout is released. That is our utmost promise to you. Now, other leagues, let me say this because I've had some people ask me about this. If you have a league that is not a big national league that you wouldn't say nobody knows about it, I don't care. I want to know about it. So hit me up. TikTok's the best place to get with me. Instagram is too. If you have a layout you want me to review, I will definitely do that. I'll put together a field for you. And we'll review that. It'll be one of our Friday episodes. The majority of our episodes are going to be pro breakdowns, and we're still building out our studio assets for that. And so those will be coming. I don't want to give a date because I don't want to lie to anybody, but they are in the works. I could tell you that. Because that is our main goal, is to do the pro breakdowns. Okay, so I want to discuss these zones. And if you don't know what zones are, raise your hand, because we're going to talk about them. I did it again. Dadgummit. How many times am I going to do it? Chat. Red Eye says, I'll let my team captain know. Thanks. Absolutely, buddy. I do it for the culture. That's what they say. That's what the kids say, I think. I think I heard a kid say that one time. Do it for the culture. Okay, so we're talking about zones. Red, white, and blue. Okay. So we use these zones to identify where bodies are and where bodies aren't. And yeah, that sounds confusing, but if you think about it, it's not. And at least this is the way that I learned this method. When you're talking the breakout and you want to know, you want to tell the rest of your team where the bodies are going, you can use these zones to say heavy red or heavy blue. If you are trying to identify a body, but you don't know exactly which bunker they're in, you could say caution the red, caution the white, caution the blue. And when it comes to identifying what your biggest threat is or what your widest threat is, you would use a big call. And that's probably the easiest way to explain this. Use a big call. So if this is your, we'll use the S1 as an example. If the S1 is your widest body on the field, they would be a big S1. And so that tells everybody that they're the widest. But who needs to know that? Well, it's the guy that is directly in front of him who's attacking that side of the field, because now he knows that he can wrap in certain areas. If it's even better if, let's say, this can is the widest on the field, yeah, then he knows that this whole area is free and clear for him to wrap on. So we use those big calls to let our team know when it's safe to wrap and go. Now, another good bit of advice here is if you're moving up the field, a lot of people get themselves caught moving from bunker to bunker for numerous reasons, right? You either move with your gun down, or you are looking at the spot that you want to go, right? You're looking at your landing zone. Even if you're diving in, a lot of people just love to look where they're going to dive. And that's a problem. What you need to get in the habit of doing is learning how to read the paint, number one, So if you're taking heat in your bunker and you can't see the paint, can't see where it's coming from, you listen. Number one, where's the paint hitting my bunker? Is it hitting behind me? Is it hitting in front of me? Where is that paint coming in? And then secondly, look for the paint. So if you can see where the paint is coming in at, is it breaking off this edge of the bunker? Is it, can I see streams flying through the air? Sometimes you can just see the paint. Or is it hitting the ground around me? So identify where the paint is. Now, the next thing is, how do we move up the field to make the most out of every move you make? How do we do that? Well, number one is you want to take a look inside the field. Is there any immediate threats that are looking my direction that I need to worry about? If the answer is no, then you move to the second part of this, which is look on the outside. So look down the tape. Is there anybody heads up that would stop me from making this move? Now, if the answer is yes, then you need to stop and address that problem. If the answer is still no, then we're going to start our move. We're going to make our move down the field. But how are we going to do that? Are we going to have gun down? No. Our gun's going to be up, and we're going to be gun on the outside so we can wrap inside. Now, as you're moving to your spot, wrap on the inside. And 9 times out of 10, if somebody is not already seen you, you will get the drop on them. So look inside, look outside, wrap on the inside, and go to your spot. Capitalize on those moves, ladies and gentlemen. Capitalize. All right. Well, how we doing? Still got 13 of you in here. That's not bad for our first stream. I'm pretty happy with that. You guys enjoying the show? I know it's we're hoping to have some more guests on here, make it a little more lively in the studio. I think we still may get a guest on here tonight. I'm holding out for him. I'm doing my best. We're right at 8 o'clock. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it that long. Red Eye, where are you playing from, brother? Where are you guys located? And is there anything that you missed from this walkthrough that you want me to go back and hit? Because I would definitely be glad to do so. Florida. Oh my. Is it boiling down there yet? Is it nice? What is it? Okay, Jacksonville. All right. Well, hey, at least you ain't got to travel for Cup. That's nice. Basically get to stay home. The old vagina. That's if you noticed my attire for tonight. You guys want to see something funny though? Can I let you in on a secret? I will, since this is the first episode. Look at this. Look. These are shorts. I'm wearing shorts and my suit top. But you guys didn't know that because you can't see below the waist. So how do you feel about that, vagina? Oh, Travis, what's up, dog? Okay. You said you look inside, then down the tape, then wrap it inside to move up the field. What did you mean? Yeah, let's go back and look at that. So what I mean is when I go to make a bump, this is how I process the move. And it all happens like that, right? I head check inside. Say it's easiest to describe in a Dorito. I head check inside, so this side, just to make sure that there is no obvious threat right in front of me that when I push out of my bunker, I wouldn't see, but I can get the drop if I just take that look on the inside. So that's my first thing. And then I look as far as I can outside down the tape, because if there's a gun right in front of me, I don't want to push out into that either. And so I will address that issue if there's somebody there. I did it again. Okay. Now, this is when I go to make the move. After those first two beats, I push out and I wrap on the inside, because now I can get a deeper look cross field. It opens up for me. I see some of these positions that I couldn't see just by simply head checking on the other side. Oh. Yeah, see that? So I get a deeper look by wrapping on the inside. And I may or may not, there may be nobody there. That's fine. But so as I'm pushing out, my gun is facing cross field, looking to pick up a body as I'm making my move. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense. It makes sense in my head. Yeah, definitely, Jesse, definitely sported my attire after you, my friend. After I saw that picture of you coaching in a suit, I decided right there and then that's the only look that a coach should have, or any professional in the paintball world should have, is in a suit and tie. So kudos to you. You started the trend. Travis said, I think I wasn't understanding the wrap inside and move. Okay, I got you. Does it make sense now, Travis, after I explain that? 'Cause otherwise, I mean, when you make a move, do you not look inside as you move to your Dorito or to your next position? Do you not look cross? Do you do you look at your landing zone, or because that's where I started that beat off? Is do you look at your landing zone, or do you move with your gun down? Because that's what you see a lot of times. That's where a lot of people get shot, in the transitions between bunker A to bunker B. Is they're either not paying attention or they have their gun down and they miss an opportunity. That did make sense. Okay, good. Should I play the next event in a suit and tie with my jeans and boots? Jason's notorious for only wearing blue jeans to a paintball tournament. Should no, Jason, go full suit and tie. You got to get the trousers. You got to get some dress shoes, slick bottom, and just go full John Wick. I think is the look for the next tournament. Travis says, "No, I look inside, but I thought you meant wrap the right side inside." Oh, I got you. Yeah, for sure. No, I just give it a good head check because I don't want to be surprised. And I guess I don't always do that, but that's kind of my rule of thumb. Yeah, I want to get John Wick at the next tournament, Jason. So, don't show up if you're not going to do that for me. Yeah, this snake is wild, dude. I don't even know how to feel about whatever the hell this is. This is something else. Is something else. You are something else. Well, we're gonna see if our special guest is gonna make it or not. I'll stay on as long as there's people in the stream. We've got some news, got something cooking for you guys. Got caught up with some work today, and excuse me, is running behind. Had I known earlier, I think I might have pushed back a little bit because it'd have been a lot nicer to have some an extra voice. Missed the beginning. Did you already walk the right side? Yeah, I did, but we can go back over any of it you want to. So give you the look from the snake one. And it's all open through here. So you've got the towers and the mini Aztec. You got that. And so if you're playing the snake, Red Eye, if you're playing the snake, that's going to be the guy to watch out for as you push into this zone. Where'd my cursor go? There it is. As you push in through here, I would argue that this guy right here can drop paint over the top of this beam into this zone. So be careful of that guy. And I'd be curious to see how this plays out. Let's see, Brian says, I feel that baby at the end. End of the top of the snake is going to be a wreck zone. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. But, yeah, if you're playing the outside snake, you play this nipple to your advantage. Pop this top and get some kills on the inside. And what I was one thing I was talking about, Red Eye, with this snake is putting somebody. Let's take a step back here, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Is sending somebody out wide, right? And then sending somebody maybe through the cut and get them into this wedge as the support, because I think this is going to be the best support to cover this corner. So as this guy is locking down this zone here, that frees up whoever's on the outsides. That's kind of what that's looking like through there. So this guy is very important to stay alive in this bunker because he's a huge threat on that side of the field, and he's not easily accessible from this side of the field. Oh. Our surprise guest has entered the studio. Okay. Hey, give me the nod. Give me the thumbs up. Are you ready to go? I'll bring you in. Let's get him in here. Hold on. You guys know him. All right, here we go. It's Steve. Hey, Avino, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy? Sorry, man. It's been one of them nights traveling for work.
That's okay. Hey, we're here now.
Yeah.
Let me get this
We're
music
here now.
turned off. So we've walked the field. We've just about dismantled this entire thing, and I don't think we can go much further with it. Have you got to look at the layout?
Absolutely have, dude. The snake is looking awesome. I love the asymmetrical field. It's badass.
Okay, I completely disagree with you. I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot of people. I think there's mixed feelings on this. I'm not a fan of the asymmetrical, but I appreciate the skill that it takes to be able to figure out these layouts and capitalize on the opportunities.
Right.
I just don't like them.
Asymmetrical is always love and hate, man, but at the same time, it's unconventional, right?
Yes.
Dorito's a thing, right? People are starting to dub that, use that phrase. At the same time, people.
I think we're losing you, Steve.
Dude, there's going to be some fight. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. You look at the Snakerito, dude. I mean, in hindsight, there's going to be a lot of stuff that happens in the center, in my opinion.
Yes, for sure.
A lot of fighting up in the center.
For sure.
So what have you broken down so far?
Well, we've pretty well covered all the zones. I kind of just mocked up a few different plays, possibilities. And talked about the importance of choosing where you're going to attack on the field and coordinate that across the entire line. So if we're goal for this point is to push the snake heavy, right? We're gonna set our bodies up to have the biggest advantage to do that, and the rest of the field is going to be set up in a position to support that attack. And this center really gives freedom for whoever's playing this center to stir up some trouble up in the middle. I think you can really get creative up in these bricks, and turn some guns your way and break open these points.
So I think you're going to have, right? So I see that you have somebody go into that snake side wedge, right? I think what's going to occur there is once you get somebody in that snake side wedge, there's really not much they can do other than get up into that 50 brick, right? Once they're in that 50 brick, there's going to be a bunch of trade outs. So honestly, I think that your snake player, your one on the inside, is going to be an easy trade out with the other inside brick, in my opinion, right? Because when you look at it, there's really not much stopping that person in the wedge. There's not a lot of shots. There's if you even look cross field, like if you go into that wedge, there's not much there. So what are you forced to do? You're going to be forced to go up to that center brick. Once you're into that center brick, your next option is to honestly trade out with the other dude. So I really do think there's going to be a lot of jousting up the gut here, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
right. Because realistically, if you're tucked into that bunker, Brady, you're not going to be able to do much. So I think the inside snake guy, that's a trade out. The outside snake guy, to your point, I think you have a good call there. That's going to be you can almost treat the outside of this snake as a ladder snake, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you get to that Dorito, you can, I don't know if you looked at it, but if you wrap that Dorito, I guarantee you have everybody on the inside of the field.
Oh, for sure. All day.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my thinking, Steve, is to position this guy to make that push and just let this inside snake guy keep this guy honest from pushing. Don't this guy doesn't have to get overzealous and go trade out and waste his body. He's a threat just staying
He's a
alive
threat.
in this.
He's a threat.
He's a threat staying alive in this bunker, and he's hard to kill from this
Agreed.
side of the field.
I can agree with that, depending on what division you're playing, right? I think some of the lower divisions are going to get a little hungry and trade out there.
Sure.
Did you look at the tower, right? Do any of those towers lock down that side at all?
So, yes. So you can drop it in, I think. Just over that snake one. It's kind of hard to see from here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean you can control it there, and this other tower maybe a little bit. I mean it's kind of almost too close to drop them in there, but I mean you got this locked down.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep the advancement past that little W from happening.
It's going to be a little messy too. Like the likelihood of getting to that tower is slim to none. I mean, you might be able to get to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Might be able to get to that first tower there. That first tower is definitely legit.
Yeah. And that was kind of my point to the lower divisional guys, especially D5, is a lot of times these guys they want to stay in the back line for whatever reason for the majority of the point and wait for one thing to happen to break open the point. And if you go into the game thinking about that, it could give you some opportunities to catch some of these guys off guard and sleep. So don't be afraid to make some risky moves to put yourself in a position to pick some guys off this back line.
Agreed.
So yeah, I mean, I think we've pretty well tore this thing apart. Let's check some of these comments here. Let's see. Brian says that's what I meant by it being a wreck zone. Absolutely. Yeah, Brian, you're right.
You're going to see. He's right. You're going to see a lot of. I really do feel like it's 50-50, Brady. I mean, you're going to have some. I think you're going to have some dudes jousting and crashing up the center, depending on the level of play. You're going to have some dudes held up at the wedge for sure. I personally, if I was to play this field, I'd go on the outside, get to that Dorito and wrap. I think that's your biggest threat.
Yep, and that was the last thing we talked about. I think just before you popped in here, actually, me and Travis were talking about that. Get down the tape, because the Doritos, I think they have the best look. If I'm being honest,
they do, but I also think the Dorito on that snake side is a pivotal bunker as well.
Oh, is that the one you were talking about? Get to this one on the snake side.
That's the one I'm talking about right here.
Yeah.
You don't have a threat. Think about it. If you get down on a knee in there, you get really low to the ground, you got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing holding you down besides that tower. But honestly, you can just tuck in there, and you're the biggest threat on the field at that point.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and once you get to the wedge, it's over.
If you get to the wedge, the game's over.
Yeah. So,
what other comments we got?
I think that was it. Jason Williams is going to wear a full suit and tie at the next tournament to play in. He's going full John Wick.
We like some John Wick, man. We like some John Wick.
And I said if he doesn't, he's disqualified and doesn't get to play. Let's see. Travis says, what side do you think is going to win matches? Dorito, center, or snake? I think.
Well,
how do you answer that on an asymmetric field?
I can. I think if you're going to look at it from an asymmetrical, which it is, from this aerial view here, if you're looking at it the way Brady has it, that right side is going to win the game. I think the Doritos are a little too wide open. They are Doritos. They're traditional Doritos, but I think what he has in that red box that's going to win the game because you have a wedge, right? You have a wedge at the 40, you have a brick at the 50, you have a Dorito at the 45, and you have another wedge at the right 50. Those are big bunkers to hunker down and get in and just wrap and shoot.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't think I'm wrong. I think that side's going to win.
Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I think I
Okay,
lost you
good.
for a second.
Yeah.
But
Just a second. We're back.
so I think that side will win. I really do. I think that side's going to win.
Travis said, "Oh wow, that's interesting. I like the Doritos."
What?
Travis says he likes the Doritos. He wants that to be the side you choose.
Play the Doritos, man. Play the Doritos. I'm telling you, we can play some bets.
I think we can, but I agree with Steve 100%. There's just so much going on over here that you can get yourself lost in.
What I think is going to happen, and what I think can happen, is if you play the Doritos. So if you go into like the D2 for me.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll get outside first.
So I can see my threats from there. So right now that cut's locked down because I can see that brick, I can see the tower. You're locked in, and those guys aren't going to move off of that cut.
Absolutely.
So you tell me what you're going to do from that D2 besides just sit there versus a bunker that has a side of the field that has 4 major bunkers that I can get lost in.
Yeah. Yeah, because it gets even worse as you push out. I mean, it's totally open.
Right.
Right. You know, you could definitely make your moves, but pick your battles where your best chances are. I agree.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the side to take it. But both sides are important.
Yeah.
And you got to be set up to stop the advancement from this side because if we all agree that the snake is where the party's at on an asymmetric field, we've got to know that they're coming down that side of the field and we need to be prepared to stop that attack.
Yes.
So how are we going to do that? Now, Steve, are you ready to talk about what we got coming up real quick just before everybody else goes? Okay, let me jump over here. I want to pull this up for you, the flyer, and then I'll just let you take it away and talk about it.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and again, I apologize for the tardiness, but I'm traveling for work this week. It's been a little crazy. Thanks for having me on.
Oh no, dude, absolutely. Hey, listen, this is our first one, so we're still testing the waters here. We're just getting things figured out. Where's my oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. Now.
All right, we good?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our 4th year bringing Ryan Greenspan back to St. Louis. It's been something that I've, always had a lot of passion for. And he actually reached out to me this year because some folks were asking to partake in the clinic. So our clinic is the 28th and 29th of June. So later this month, just a few weeks away. We have 31 spots filled right now. We're trying to get 35. So just a few more spots to fill, but it's $200 for the weekend. That's Saturday and Sunday. It's at Adventure Valley Paintball in High Ridge, Missouri, which, if anybody knows, I enjoy every field in St. Louis, but Will does a great job. Great location. This will be the 3rd time that Greenspan's out there at that particular field. I promise eventually I'll try to get him out at Extreme. It's just Extreme did not have turf the last few years. But again, it's $200 for the weekend. It includes a case of paint. It also includes lunch. We have several teams that are signed up. So I have Midwest Redemption, I have I have Misfit Militia, I believe. I have some folks from Kansas City. I have some from Prime Suspects. I have St. Louis Faithful. We have a really great mix of players from several different teams within the Midwest coming to this. So I highly recommend. We only have a handful of spots left. If you can sign up, sign up. We have some other things in the works for later on in the year, but it would mean a lot if we can get some folks signed up. And I'm happy to announce that obviously Grit is helping us sponsor the clinic. Will's super excited. Greenspan's really excited. It'll be a good time. I'll be there all weekend. Just even if you want to come out and say hi, just come out and say hi. It's if you want to get on the field, it's going to cost you. But if you just want to come watch, come watch.
All right, man. Yeah, hey, I've been to Ryan's clinic, and I could tell you that you will walk away with so much more experience and knowledge in those 2 days than you'll get just going to play points on an average weekend.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you have the opportunity to sign up for this, do it, because you will become a better paintball player. Now, did you talk about how to sign up, Steve?
Oh, I did not. Thanks for reminding me. So to sign up, we can send everybody, following this, we'll put it in the comments. We can send it's a Google Doc form. You can sign up via that. To make payment, it's via Venmo, which once you follow the prompts in the Google Doc form, the Venmo address is in there. You can also reach out to me directly on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. And you can sign up directly through me.
Yeah, so I dropped the link in the description. I don't know if it works yet or not. We'll have to test that out, but the link is there. So if you want to sign up through this video, try that out, and go ahead and get signed up now. All right. And did you say, is this all divisions can sign up for this?
Yeah. I mean, we have kids that are 12 years old coming. We have 12-year-olds coming. We have 60-year-olds coming. Over the years, we've had every variation of player, right? So I know some of you guys that play higher divisions think you're too cool for school and don't want to sign up, but I'm telling you, I've watched this dude literally make guys throw up on the field. You will put in the work for 2 days. It's well worth it. You do learn a lot. I know some people have mixed feelings about Dynasty, but hey, it is the longest running pro team around, the longest winningest pro team around, right? So it's well worth it. And who knows how much longer he has left to play. So I highly recommend it.
Now, Travis dropped in the comments, are you taking more than 35 spots?
Am I taking more than 35? Was that the question?
Yeah, will you take more than 35?
Yeah. Let's put it this way, guys. I cannot go over 40.
Okay. Hard stop at 40. So Travis, you and Riley get signed up now. You message me and I'll get you in touch with Steve or message Steve directly. But yeah, this would be perfect for Riley and you, Travis, but definitely Riley as a young buck coming up.
And I'm telling you, Ryan's a great time. He's very personable. You get a lot of one-on-one time with him for the weekend. I promise you, unlike most pros, be exposed to. Ryan's been around.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that is that. Sign up for the Ryan Greenspan Clinic, June 28th and 29th. All right. Well, Steve, I'm glad you got to pop in tonight. I was really trying to hang in there. My voice. I don't know if you can hear my voice.
Dude, I was dying. I know, man, and I apologize. I was with some colleagues, dude, and I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta at least talk to him. But yeah,
that's okay. We talked Friday night, and after that, dude, everything went downhill for me. I was freezing, shivering in bed for 3 days. I don't know what happened, but I'm on the up and up now, so we're doing good. I just gotta get the voice back. That's the big thing. We'll get there.
Well, for everybody watching, Greenspan Clinic for sure. This layout, if you're playing this layout, I'm telling you that snake side I think is the winning side. Both sides are important. Don't get me wrong, but that snake side's a little bunker heavy, and I strongly feel that side's going to win points. So, Brady, I appreciate you, dude. I apologize for joining late, but
hey, don't you worry about it. We'll get you on next time as well, Steve. I appreciate it. Get back over here to this other thing. Well, I don't know what happened to that. Anyways, well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, though. We've been on almost an hour and a half, and unless anybody else has any last-minute questions for Steve or myself, I think that'll do it for us.
Yeah. And I'm happy if anybody wants to reach out to us, Brady, and talk the layout in depth. More than happy to do that.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, everybody. I am Brady Nickel, and we will see you guys next time on Outside the Net. Good night, everybody.
Cool. See you guys.
This episode of Outside the Net was powered by Grit, built for those who grind, bleed, and keep coming back. Gear up at grtpaintball.com. To be the best, you got to have grit.